Hey, I'm Abby and welcome back to the Life Work Balance YouTube channel. Today I want to talk to you about questions you can ask at the end of an interview. I've got multiple videos on this topic, but today I want to focus specifically on the different types of culture questions you could ask at the end of an interview. But before we jump into that, please go ahead and give this video a thumbs up if you're looking forward to learning a little bit more about why you should ask this type of question and hear some of those example questions. And if you haven't already, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button as well as the bell so that you can receive life work balance advice delivered directly to you every Sunday. So if you've watched some of my videos, it's likely you've come across my questions to ask at the end of an interview videos. I've got a whole playlist on the different types of questions you can ask at the end of an interview, whether it's a first interview, a second interview, an internal interview, etc. So if you want more example questions that you can ask at the end of an interview, check out that playlist next. I've linked to it in the description box below, and I've linked to a card up above. However, today's video is focusing specifically on culture questions that you can ask during an interview. Now, it's likely that at the end of your interview, whether it's a phone interview, a video interview, or an in-person interview, that you will be asked if you have any questions for the interviewers. So it's a great time to ask some of these pre-prepared interview questions at the end of your interview. Now, my most popular video that I've got right now is the 3 different types of questions you can ask at the end of an interview. And that's culture-related questions, role-specific questions, and the hesitation question. So this video is going to focus specifically on those culture questions. Now, why should you ask culture questions in an interview? Well, there are multiple reasons why you should ask these types of questions. For me, the best reason as to why you should ask culture-related questions at the end of an interview or during an interview is because an interview isn't just a one-way interview. It's not just the company, the organization, the manager, the team, etc., interviewing you for the position. It's a two-way interview because you are also interviewing them to make sure that this organization, this team, and this position is going to be a good fit for you. The last thing you want to happen is to accept a position that you hate. It would be worst case scenario for you to say yes, accept a position, and then on your first day or maybe even 30 days into your new job, realize that it is not the position for you. So by asking culture questions at the end of an interview or during an interview, that gives you some insight into if this company or organization, this team, this manager, or this role in general is going to be a good fit for you. If it's not going to be a good fit for you, it's a good time to learn that it's not going to be a good fit rather than wasting your time getting the job and finding out while you already are in the job. Asking these different types of culture questions will help you determine if your working style, your personality, their management style, their conflict resolution style, their values and your values all align. And if they don't, then it's time to start looking elsewhere. But if they do, that's a good sign that this could be a good fit for you. The second reason why it's good to ask these types of culture questions is it's a good opportunity to get the interviewer talking. Now, I've said in many of my videos that the more talking the interviewer does, the better they feel about how the interview goes. And this still tends to be true. So if you can ask some questions that get the interviewer talking about themselves or about their role, their team, their department, their organization, and they end up talking for a longer period of time than they would have if you didn't ask these questions, they will likely feel like this interview went better than other interviews. So the more they can talk, the better. These types of questions get people talking. The third reason why you should ask these types of questions is because it shows the interviewers that you are serious about finding the right position for you. They don't want someone who's just going to accept the job for the money or just to get a job and not be unemployed. They want to find someone to fill this role who's not only a good fit for the organization, but who is a good fit for the role, and vice versa. They want to make sure that the person who's going to get this position really does enjoy their job, really does fit within the culture, and values the same thing the organization values. They know that happy employees tend to stay longer and do higher quality work than unhappy or just neutral feeling employees. The fourth and final reason why you should ask some cultural related questions at the end or during your interview is because it also gives the interviewers some insight into the things that are important to you, the things that matter to you as an employee. It may help them understand at a deeper level how you will work as a part of their team moving forward. All right, so the part that you've probably been waiting for. I've got 10 example questions that you could ask that could help you evaluate the culture of this organization, this department, this team, this manager, or this role to see if it is a good fit for you. Now, these questions are in no particular order. You can choose to use them exactly how they are, or you can tweak them to the specific situation, role, or your own personality. So let's get into it. The first example question is, how are employees supported in their professional growth and development? This is a great question to ask because it helps you understand how you will be supported in your own personal and professional growth and development. The second type of cultural related question that you could ask is, what resources are provided to support employees' mental health and wellness? This is an important question to ask because mental health is a really important topic these days. Burnout culture is pretty high, and organizations that don't support employee wellness tend to have higher levels of turnover. The last thing you want to do is find a job and then decide you need to find a new job right after you get this job. The third type of question that you can ask is, what do you enjoy most about working here? Now, this is a question that will get the interviewer or interviewers talking. That's a good thing because the more they talk, the better they'll feel about how this interview goes. The fourth type of question you can ask is, can you share an example or story of an employee who was able to grow within the organization? Now, this will be a success story of an employee who started at a lower level position and was able to move or grow in their career ladder into a higher level position. If you're looking for the opportunity to grow and develop within your role, as well as within the organization, this is a great question to ask. The fifth question you can ask is, what is your standard process for giving feedback? It's good to know what the standard process for giving feedback is because it will set your expectations from the beginning. Maybe they don't give feedback except for their annual performance reviews. And if that's the case, if you know you need more opportunity for feedback, then you will know that you have to request that type of feedback. Maybe this is a coaching organization where they provide ongoing real-time feedback. Whatever their feedback approach is, it's good to know upfront so that you can adjust accordingly. The next question you can ask is, what are the common themes you find amongst your highest performers? This will let you know what types of traits and characteristics are highly valued and promoted among those who are the top performers in this team or this organization. The next type of question you can ask is, how does this team manage or handle conflict? Now, hopefully, fingers crossed, the person who's answering this question is honest about how this team manages or handles conflict, because their answer will give you some really good insight into how this team actually shows up when conflict has come up. Now, some teams avoid conflict, some teams address it head on, some are a little bit more direct and abrasive, while others are a little bit more passive. So understanding how the team handles conflict will again give you good insight and prepare you for what to expect. The next question you can ask is, how is this role connected to the organization's mission and or vision? This is a great question to ask because it lets you know the part this role plays in the bigger picture. This will help you understand your value every single day while you're completing your work and how it connects to the overall mission and vision of this organization. And this question is somewhat similar. So here's the next question you can ask. How does this team's work impact the organization's goals? This is a great question to ask because, again, it's not as role specific, but it is more organization-wide specific about how this team as a whole works to meet the goals of an organization. So again, this really gets you to the why behind the team, which can make it much easier to feel like you are contributing to something greater than yourself and like your work actually matters and has value. And the final example question is, how would you describe your management style? Now again, hopefully this person is honest about how they show up as a manager or leader. If they're honest about it, it will give you good insight in what to expect from this person. Now, some people have a lot of blind spots and don't realize what type of management or leadership style they have. But in a perfect world, this person will be honest with you so that you can make the choice of if this manager will be a good fit for you or not. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you are looking for some personalized career coaching, or you've got an interview coming up and you would like some one-on-one help with strategizing how you can prepare for this interview, please feel free to reach out to me. I've got sessions available each week on a limited basis where I can work with people just like you to prepare for your upcoming interview or your overall job search. So if this is something you're interested in, I've linked to my website as well as I've included my email in the description box below. You can read about the services that I offer, the pricing for those services, and schedule a session with me directly. So if that's something you're interested in, check out the links in the description box below. If you have any additional questions, comments, thoughts, or ideas, like maybe some additional examples of cultural related questions that you can ask at the end or during an interview, throw them in the comments box below. I love receiving comments. I try to get back to each of you individually, but if I'm unable to, just know that your comments might help someone who's going through something similar. So again, please leave any questions, comments, thoughts, or ideas in the comments box below. And if you haven't already, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button as well as the bell so that you can continue to receive life-work balance advice delivered directly to you every Sunday. Thanks, and I'll see you next week.